As you just heard a moment ago, young people need the attention of caring adults to be more safe, but also to thrive. That's the case for helping young people as mentors, and is confirmed by the young people themselves here in Massachusetts with a waiting list of 3,000. Another challenge is to reduce the racial gap between the young people and the pool of volunteers. Our guests are two people working in that direction. We'd like to welcome the manager of the Mentors of Color campaign at Mass Mentoring Partnership, Rhonda DaSilva, and the president of Diamond Educators, Shawn Brown. I'd like to thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
I want to start with Rhonda DaSilva about the waiting list of young people. How does this happen? Did these young people just sought out this kind of help?
Well, yes, they do. Teachers will provide names, parents, etc. I'm sure there are many more young people out there who need a mentor, but 3,000 is what we have on record. There are actually 20,000 mentoring relationships that are happening currently in the state. So that's pretty impressive, and the mission of Mass Mentoring Partnership is to double that number in the next couple of years.
Shawn Brown, talk about your first brush with this, because the table was turned the other way when you were growing up and you needed a mentor.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a product of the Boston public school system in the city of Boston, and growing up for me, life wasn't easy. I was involved in a lot of negativity that society has to offer. I was ran with a gang, involved in the streets, sold drug, things like that. I had my first kid at the age of 15. And someone who made a significant impact in my life was my mentor, Ed Powell. He gave me an opportunity when a lot of people gave up on me and told me that I wouldn't amount to anything. So, I mean, that was huge for me in that sense, that he gave me an opportunity, gave me my first real job. And, it was in a corporate setting at Liberty Mutual, and that made a huge difference in my life and propelling me, to the road of success.
He bet on something in you. What was it exactly?
I'm sorry?
He bet on something in you. What was it that he took a chance on something?
I don't know. He just said he's seen the leadership qualities in me. I mean, he told me he watched me, throughout the year, and he just seen a group of people who followed me, and he just said, you have these great leadership qualities. Won't you take that and channel into something positive? And he said, I believe in you. He said, what do you want to do? And I told him, he asked about a job. I said, I want a job. He said, what type of job? I said, I want to work in a corporate environment. And he said, I'm going to give you an opportunity. And he gave me that opportunity at Liberty Mutual, and I never let him down. Often today tell him that I owe him for helping me get to where I'm at. And his thing to me is, you don't owe me anything. Just do what I did for you and help another young man.
Now, I'm sure when you were a teenager, you probably knew how popular you were with your own friends. But hearing him say that, hearing an adult talk about your leadership, how did that feel for you?
I mean, it was moving. It gave me self-confidence. I think at that time he saw something in me that I didn't see in me, and he helped instill that. So to see, adult, when you hear so much, sometimes negativity from adults who are telling you you're not going to be anything, you're a punk or whatever, and to have someone come to you and say, I see something in you, I see leadership qualities, those things you're doing, take that and channel it again into something positive. And, that was moving for me. It was very powerful.
Rhonda, we've heard this one case, but looking at so many cases, as I'm sure you do we know anything that shows this actually works for kids?
Yes, there is research that shows mentoring works on both sides, not just for the mentee, but it helps with achieving better grades, having a better relationship with their teacher, with their peers, with their parents. It also helps in young people avoiding risky behavior, drugs, alcohol. There is research out there that proves that, yes.
But what about the mix of mentors and the mix of students who need them? Because certainly anybody can be a mentor to anybody in theory, but in practice, if you've got a big difference between one mix and the other, I guess that's something you want to change.
With regard to...
Let's say the mix of students who need mentors and the mix of volunteers that seem to be ready so far.
Well, I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
Well, the racial mix.
The racial,
about.
okay,
Right, exactly,
okay.
Right.
First of all, mentoring just goes across racial divides. Mentoring works regardless of ethnicity. Mm-hmm. However, there's a large pool of people, African Americans and Latinos, who are not mentoring, and it's sort of like an untapped market, if you will. We know that mentoring works best when there are sort of shared interests and commonalities and lifestyle and background. However, a lot of the quality mentoring programs will make a mentoring partnership work regardless. But there's that untapped pool of people of color who need to give back, who need to help change a life, enhance a life, and perhaps save a life at some point.
What do people need to be able to give to be a good mentor?
A little time. And I mean, literally, as little as an hour a week. That could be a school-based program where it's before, during, or after school. It could be a one-on-one mentoring relationship. It's 1 hour a week or 2 hours every other week, doing things such as going to the mall or playing softball or going to the movies, the museum, what have you. You need to be a caring individual who can give your time and coach and enhance someone's life. You don't need to be a therapist, a parent, and definitely not an ATM machine.
Shawn Brown, what do you do? When you've been mentoring, when people in your organization mentor, what kind of things do they do?
I mean, it's just as simple as, one, listening first. Being caring, understanding, not being judgmental, of the population or the youth that you're servicing, and just be a caring adult, as Rhonda alluded to earlier. Just caring, understanding, support. That majority of the time is what they're looking for. Someone who cares about them, who sees the self-worth in them that they might not see. And that's what we're about doing, is just meeting them where they are and not being judgmental and just being committed.
And we encourage them to have fun. That's really important.
Right. Shawn, what about what people get from mentoring? When you've been doing it yourself, what did you get from it?
Just the satisfaction of seeing a young man, like I said, again, grow from one point. From stage one to stage whatever it is, at meeting them when they don't have self-confidence, to build that into them. That's what we see. What do mentors get out of this? The ability to give back and help their community. That's the big piece, is giving back, helping your community, reaching that hand down. Someone did it for me, and guys that I work with in Diamond Educators do the same thing. It's passing that torch, we like to call it. It was passed down to us, and it's our job to pass it down to our mentees and teach them the value of giving back.
We should let you both have a chance at this. If there's any way that people who are interested in helping out want to follow up, how can they do that, Rhonda?
Sure. They should log onto our website and fill out our application. The website is youcanmentor2, youcanmentor2.org, or they can call my line directly at 617-695-2478.
And Shawn, any way people can get in touch with your organization?
Absolutely. You can reach the website, www.diamondeducators.org, or we can be reached at 617-212-1197.
Thank you both, Shawn Brown and Rhonda DaSilva.
Thank you.
Still to come, a look at the new state budget and what lies beyond. We'll talk with the president of the Mass Taxpayers Foundation. But first, this message.